Hi, this is Linda
And this is Leslie.
with Let's Talk.
Hi, Linda.
Leslie, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
I
How
want to
about
talk
you?
about that today
Oh, really? Okay.
because we say okay or fine, but are we really? I think sometimes I say, how are you doing? And I catch myself still walking before the person answers. Not on purpose. It's just, I realize sometimes I use that as a greeting, but I really do mean it. Like, I really do care how they feel. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
stop if they say anything different. But I realize sometimes that closes the door for people to actually tell me the truth. So I've been working on it of asking how you're doing and then
Mm-hmm.
actually stop while I'm asking and wait for an answer.
That's good, Linda, because you're right. Sometimes it is just used as a greeting sometimes. It's not a genuine concern or a genuine wanting to know. It's just like, hi, how you doing? And
Mhm.
then you just keep it moving. You don't really want to know how they're doing because you're about your next thing in your day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what does that do to the person? Especially somebody that's really hurting. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it make me think, what does it look like on the other side? You know?
Yeah, I know I can speak to the part about what it does when they feel like you're concerned and you're genuine. You really want to say how you're feeling because you can sense their sincerity, you
Hmm.
know. Like I remember just the other day you were asking Leslie how you doing? How are things going with this situation? And I said, and before you know it the tears almost started flowing.
Yeah.
And I know because it came from a caring place. It wasn't just a random how are you and just checking in or whatever. Because we
Yeah.
do that. We check in and we check in out of obligation or we check in and like, oh, I forgot. Let me check in on this
But I
person.
actually made a point and a pause in our conversation. And then I asked. And the
Mm-hmm.
pause in the conversation is redirect, like letting
Yeah.
you know, I do, let's take time for this.
Yeah.
And we don't do that too often. We don't take the time to really ask, how are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. And we should take more time to do that, especially in light of everything happening, Linda,
Hmm.
because people aren't doing well.
Yeah.
you know they We are going through the motions of our routine and our day and the things we have to get done on our checklist, but we are not okay.
Yeah. Some of us is hurting, and it's going to take a while for us to even feel like, first we have to feel like we can trust the person,
Yeah.
and then let alone feel like, is this the right opportunity to say it? Am I too much in a public place right now to really tell you without
Right.
crying or being emotional? Because sometimes it's even the place. You might say
Mm-hmm.
it right,
Mm-hmm.
but it might not be the place to really say it. So
Yeah.
what do you think somebody should say then, or how should that be?
I think sometimes you just start off with a genuine conversation. It doesn't necessarily have to be a probing one, like, how are you doing? Instead of that, like, what have you done today or what's going on? Or I know sometimes I start my conversations off with what's the latest and the greatest, you know. And I got that from actually my former principal. Anytime he would say, hey, hi, he would say, hey, what's the latest and the greatest? And before you know it, you're talking about everything else besides how you're feeling. And then if it comes back around to how are you doing, then you're more likely to say how you're genuinely feeling.
Yeah. And I kind of like that in a way, because when you're asking what's the latest and the greatest, you're also asking, tell me something positive. You're kind of closing the door for something negative a little bit.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
But you're telling me, tell me something positive, tell me something
Yeah.
good. Don't
Yeah.
tell me something bad because I didn't ask you how you're doing. I didn't ask. Just tell me something good.
Yeah.
And for a principal, I could see them doing that because they hear so much negative stuff already, complaints and different things. Maybe they need to hear. So maybe they're saying it for them or for the person of, I care about you, but please tell me something good.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't want to hear anything negative. Not right now.
Yeah,
What's the latest and the greatest? Make
right.
me laugh. Give me something to make me laugh. And that's true, Linda. I think, we have to be so different in our thinking and our approach with people now. And not saying we are walking around with kid gloves, but we have to listen and love.
Mhm.
I heard somebody say that, and I'm like, man, that's so good. You do, you have, and what that does, it makes you stop and pause, get out of your head. Remember, we talked about not having an opinion. Get out of your opinion, get away from your own perspective, and listen in love, because you don't know who's on the other side and what they need to just express.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I heard somewhere that somebody said you should ask 3 times if you really care. And there's times that I tried it and the person was okay. And they looked at me like I was crazy, like, why you asking 3 times? But then there's other times I tried it and it actually works. The person opened up and shared what was going on in their life. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
mean, are you okay? Or, like, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah.
But 3 times throughout that little, like a gap, like
Yeah.
talk a little bit, like, are you really okay? Or,
Yeah.
like, and it's just kind of unique to know that. So
That's true. That's good, Linda, because you're right. If you keep saying, how are you doing? Are you sure you're okay? Are you really sure you're okay? Before you know it, you get mad at the person. Yes, I'm okay. The whole conversation has turned south.
yeah, or they wasn't ready to talk.
Yeah.
There's some personalities that need to process before
Yeah.
they speak. You're that personality type. My husband's that person. Me is like, oh, I'll speak without you.
No
I'll tell you
filter.
what's wrong right now.
You want to know? I'm going to tell you. This is what's wrong. Blah, 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 blah.
My favorite thing is, do you really want to know? Anytime you ask me a question and I'm like, do you really want to be like, this might go down the wrong road. So I always
Yeah.
say, do you really want to know before I tell you? I'll tell you because I don't like, I don't like playing games or anything.
Yeah.
But I usually say, do you really want to know?
Yeah. That's true, Linda, because if you really want to know, then you're going to sit and watch and you're going to sit and listen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. You're good at that, Linda. I know. And you're also good at, if someone's, in my case, I don't want to talk about it, because that's always my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
And people who know that that's my go-to push it. Come on, Leslie, come on. Before you know it, I'm mad. But what you're good at, I don't want to talk about it. And you surprised me by saying, okay. I'm like, well, why you say okay like that? I do want to talk about it.
But normally you realize you do talk about it.
This is
But
true.
I think I got taught to say okay because I know you're a processor. And you're still processing it. It could be, is it safe? Do I really, how much do I want to share? So I say okay to kind of let you put down your guard to process it. And you're saying what you want to say, no more, no less. And I'll, that I'll accept you for the way you are and how much you tell me, and that I care about you. I care enough that I ask, and
Yeah.
I'll just wait for you. But sometimes when you trust a person, you end up making the problem bigger because they're not processed enough to say it out loud. And now you're putting that pressure on them as well. You just made it worse because now they're like irritated at you, but still trying to deal with the problem. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's better to say, okay, I'm here for you when you're ready, or.
Oh, Linda, that's so good. That's very good. And that goes back to listening with love. Because when you really sincerely love or care about that person, you're going to take the time to let them process, let them be who they are,
Hmm.
you know. So
Because
that's
some of
good.
us can say answer the question fast, just like how you were saying with the test, the 5 love languages. Remember, you're like, your
Yes.
husband can do it like this. I can do
Yeah.
it like this. You
Yeah.
and my husband was like, well, let me think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is to think about? Is it like this or do you like that? And that's the same thing with everything else. It's like some of us can. This is what's bothering me. Other
Yeah.
people have to think about it, and we have
Mhm.
to honor and respect that, and know how to ask, know where to ask, when to ask, and how to ask. That
Yeah.
all plays a part. Like you can
Yeah.
ask the right way, but not if you know your kid's about to come home or you have a phone call or a meeting in like 5 minutes. If you know they're really about to share their heart.
That's good, Linda. That's really good advice. What would you say to someone who is struggling in that area in terms of communication? Because that's what it's about, it's communication.
Yeah, well, you have to remember communication is two part. It's the listener and the speaker. You know, the receiver and the sender.
Mm-hmm.
So both parts have to play a part. You know, so it could be you're asking me how am I doing while you're walking, and I go, well, I would love to share you, but it's going to take time. So you have one or two options: stop and listen to me, or I really do care, but I'm in a. If you notice, I am in a rush. When I finish this meeting, I'll come back
Yeah.
and let's make time to talk. You know, it's up to
Yeah.
both parties, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or ask, hey, I really care about you, but I'm about to go somewhere. Can we hook up later and actually, you know, have coffee and talk? I just want to check up on you. It's
Mm-hmm.
just how you're doing. So you're still saying hi quickly, but it's just how you do it. Or you are being honest saying, I'm hurting, but I need you to slow down for me. So it's both parties. Either one can change it to make it work.
Yeah.
So it's not one person responsibility. It's both trying to figure out, you know, what's going on. But that's only if you feel safe and you
Yeah.
trust this person and you have a healthy relationship with this person. And
Yeah.
you can really truly be honest and open and vulnerable with that person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you can't do that. It's like I know I could do that with you, and I know you'll do that with me. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
rushing, because I'm usually always rushing, yeah, because you would do it without a minute. And Linda, you know what? I really need to talk to you, and I'd be like, cool. I might be like,
Mm-hmm.
give me 5 minutes, let me finish this. But when I do it, you know, my phone is away, everything's
Yeah.
off, and I give you 100%.
Yeah.
And I know you would do the same. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we get mixed up with all this other stuff going on. I had mentioned in the past, I love when I come talk to my husband, he paused the TV
Mm.
to give me 100% of his attention. And we
Yeah.
need to stop and do that. There's so many times you talk to somebody and you're trying to listen to the TV or listen to something else and you know do both. And sometimes we just need to slow down and pause.
That's good, Linda. That's really good. And you're right, because I can see having conversations with people and their eyes shift to the TV. And you're like, you're not listening to me. You're watching what's on the television. Oh no, I'm listening. No, you're not.
Yeah. Or if you're a restaurant, they're watching who's coming in the door.
Yeah.
And you can see their eyes following the person, you know, or whatever,
Yeah.
you know. Or
Yeah.
they want to order a drink and they're trying not to be rude, like you're talking, we're like, yeah,
Yeah.
have another Coke or water or whatever.
Exactly. Or if they're on their phone. See, these all little things play a part. We don't think it's important, but if I'm looking down, sending a text message and you're talking to me, you're sending the message that, or I'm sending the message that what you're saying is important at this time.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
But that can be fixed because we all make mistakes and we all get caught up in this world. That can be
Hmm.
fixed by the following person saying, can you put down your phone? Can I have eye contact because I'm trying to be vulnerable and it's really hard right now. Or you know what, this restaurant is too loud or too much. Can we go somewhere more quiet that we can
Yeah.
talk? Because I really want to open up my heart to you. Or this is really bothering me. Can we have a deep conversation somewhere without any interruption?
Yeah.
It's if both parties, you can't really blame one because it's so easy to be caught up in this world.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Linda. You're absolutely right. And I think we have to keep in mind that this is what it's about: life's lessons. Laughter, because we gotta laugh, man. The Bible says laughter is good like a medicine. We got to laugh. And that's one good thing I can say about you, Linda. I've never known somebody who can just laugh, a random laugh. Ha ha ha. Who
I
does
sure can. I crack myself up
that?
sometimes.
Just a random laugh. But that's good because that's healthy.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's about: life's lessons, laughter, and love. Because the goal is to what? Make relationships that last. If
Yes.
you like what you heard today, and I know you did because I did, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. Our goal is to get as many subscribers as we can because we want to get this message out. And we look forward to seeing you at our next broadcast as you share this with others.
Yes. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.